Hey guys, it's Tim Miller with the Bulwark. Look, Fox has been up to their business again lately with the election denialism, the election conspiracy mongering. Like, you would think that after our Capitol was frickin' stormed by people, that Fox would dial back the rhetoric. You'd think that after they had to pay $800 something million in damages, they'd chill out with this BS about our elections, being fraudulent. But no. I want you to watch with me. Here's Greg Gutfeld, 2 days recently, back-to-back days, again laying the groundwork for another big lie. Let's watch it together, and then I'll explain why this is so pernicious on the other side.
I'm not even saying a good candidate. I'm saying a real candidate, which makes anyone with a brain wonder if they aren't that worried that Joe's going to lose, given his sorry state. What are they planning? What are they doing to save the day? What is up the Dems' sleeve to drag that body back into the White House? What's the dog that's not barking? And then let's say by some weird, miraculous chance that we didn't see coming, given that Trump is ahead, has a 66% chance of winning, looks like he's going to get the electoral count, and Joe still wins. Well, then what do you do after you win? How do you convince anyone that's real? Mm-hmm. Have they even thought of that? Like, even the Dems behind the scenes better hope he doesn't win, because no one's going to believe it. While the Dems kind of like created a moat around Biden to keep away actual challengers. And now they're stuck with this guy. And I'm going to repeat what I said yesterday. You got to reconsider your choice, because if you somehow pull this out with some kind of shenanigans, I hate to use that word so lightly, but shenanigans, you're going to deal with a public who doesn't buy the election. They're going to go like, how did that win?
Don't point at me.
How did that? No, I'm pointing at Biden. It's because we got it out. How did that win? We don't buy it. You're going to have to deal with that.
So firstly, this is just gross. It's just gross and sick and whatever. So you hate to even dignify it. But given our reality, given what we all experienced in 2021, you have to. So let's just go through a couple of these things point by point. Firstly, like, the whole premise of this is like that Biden winning would be unlikely. Gutfeld uses the phrase weird, miraculous chance. It would be a weird, miraculous chance for Biden to win. And then he follows that up by saying, given that some site that he references says that Trump has a 66% chance of winning. Okay, like, even if we take that, I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm not going to buy that. There are a couple different models out there that are showing different percent chances of winning, but let's just grant that to them. Let's just say that that is real science, and that right now, as we sit here, June 18th, Donald Trump has a 66% chance of winning. Okay? Things that have a 34% chance of happening happen all the time. Like, happen every day. Just think about something that, that has a 1 in 3 chance of happening. That's like rolling a dice and getting a 2 or a 4. That has a 33% chance of happening. Like, it's not, you wouldn't be like, oh, it's so miraculous that I got a 2 or a 4. You'd be like, okay, yeah, that happens sometimes. The 33% chances just happen all the time. So, like, this whole thing, like, they don't know math. They don't understand probabilities, and they don't care. And they know their viewers don't care, because they're just brain dead. They're just watching hour and hour of this propaganda nonsense, and they're just advancing propaganda and breaking their viewers' brains. And so they've created this environment where, like, Joe Biden is this demented, doddering old man who, like, is pooping his pants and can't see straight. And so then their viewers are going to be like, oh, how could that person win? It must have been a cheat. Well, no, even based on your own math, it wouldn't have been a cheat. It would have just been the normal act of doing business, what happens to all of us in a given day. Something that has a 1 in 3 chance of happening happens. So just the premise is just totally BS. Okay, that's number one. The next thing is, he starts to ask, how would the Democrats convince anyone that that's real?
And how do you convince anyone that's real?
Well, the Democrats can't convince anybody that it's real, because it's you that is poisoning the brains of people to convince them that Biden winning would be not real. All right? Like, the Democrats, the media, the Never Trumpers, the Bulwark YouTube page, we don't have any influence over the small percentage of radicalized MAGA supporters and daily Fox viewers who would buy your conspiracy. So the people that would have to convince the MAGA voters that a Biden win is real is you, Greg Gutfeld. It's you, Dana Perino. It's you, Brett Baer, and all of the other people who claim to be responsible over at Fox, Britt Hume. If you're really worried that the public is not going to accept our elections, then whoever is left at Fox, Steve Doocy, who is responsible or who thinks of themselves as responsible, should be going after Greg Gutfeld on your own network and educating viewers on your own network about the reality of this election, which in the best possible spin for Donald Trump is that Donald Trump is a slight favorite, is a normal favorite in the election. That's the best spin you could give. That would be true spin. You could go on Fox and say that it wouldn't be a miracle, it wouldn't be a shock, it wouldn't be shenanigans, it wouldn't be a rigged election. It would just be how our campaigns and elections work in a divided country. So if any of my friends at Fox are out there watching this, and if you're actually concerned, if this isn't all just a big freaking hoax, if you're actually concerned that how voters would be convinced that our elections are real, maybe you should be actually educating their voters, and maybe you should be taking Greg Gutfeld, that little troll, to the woodshed on live TV for advancing these lies that cost you guys $800 million already. I want to go back to that word, shenanigans. This is a word that you use when you're like, the other side is doing shenanigans. This is a word you use when you have nothing, when you have no facts, when you have no evidence of wrongdoing. You notice over on MSNBC. On MSNBC, the commentators like me and others, we're not saying that the Republicans are up to some shenanigans. Donald Trump's up to some shenanigans. No. There are specific things that we are saying that the Republicans did. Donald Trump tried to steal an election to stay in power. Donald Trump incited a mob to storm the Capitol because he thought that the vice president, through one weird trick, could keep him as president, even though he lost the election. Donald Trump paid hush money through Michael Cohen to Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election because he wanted to make sure that no bad information came out about him in the final days before the election. And he did so in an illegal manner that goes against campaign finance laws. That's what the jury found. Donald Trump stole classified documents. When the government asked for him to return them, he lied, so he didn't have them, and he hid them, and he moved boxes around into his bathroom. Donald Trump says racist and misogynistic things. Here they are. Donald Trump calls people ugly and fat. Here are the clips, right? Like, we're not like, oh, there's a mysterious conspiracy going over there in the Donald Trump world, and they're up to some shenanigans. We don't know what they are. We're not going to tell you what they are. We're just going to say that they're shenanigans and get the viewers all riled up and believing that there's something nefarious happening. If you have evidence that the Democrats are doing something to interfere with the election, Greg Gutfeld, then give us the evidence. Because Donald Trump and his cronies and his lawyers went to several dozen courts to try to prove that there was election fraud, and they were rejected every single time. Dinesh D'Souza, who you have on your network, created a documentary called 2,000 Mules about all these mules that were out there taking fake ballots and putting them in drop boxes. Guess what? He got sued just like Fox, and they had to admit that the BS evidence they put out wasn't true. Shenanigans is the word that you use when you're just making shit up. Okay? So what is happening on Fox right now, everybody needs to pay attention to, because we already saw this. We already lived through this. We saw the results. The Capitol Police who were injured, who are harmed, who are dead, like Brian Sicknick, they're dead as a result of these lies that were advanced by Fox and others after the 2020 election and a little bit in the lead up to the 2020 election. It's all happening again right now. Fox is laying the groundwork for another big lie. Greg Gutfeld is laying the groundwork for another big lie. They don't have any evidence. They don't have any facts. They're just throwing up smoke and scaring their viewers. And guess what? If Joe Biden wins this election, then yeah, it's going to be a problem to convince people that it's real. Not because the election wasn't real, but because people like Greg Gutfeld were lying to them. And anyone who has any sense of decency or responsibility over at Fox should be acting right now to stop that from happening, so we don't have to have another January 6th in this country. All right. I've been wanting to get that off my chest on the last 2 podcasts, but we have so many good guests, so much other shit to talk about. So we'll be back here. Keep your eye on this feed. Make sure you're subscribed to the Bulwark's feed, and we'll be seeing you again soon. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus member. You get bonus podcasts, you get bonus newsletters, you get bonus takes from me that maybe don't come up on the YouTube feed. You can try it out for free at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is below in the description. We'd love to have you as a member of our community. We have great commenters and great opportunities for people who want to protect democracy.